We're live.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to That's Probably Canon.
It's probably not canon, but...
Oh no, this whole movie was 100% canon.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This movie's canon.
If this movie was
it's
canon, there would have been, you know what? We would have had an ugly ass Megazord for like a whole season.
Listen. Don't go besmirching my baby. You know how much I love this movie.
That
I love this
is
movie to death. I do love this movie to death. You know I love this movie to death.
Yeah, that's why this is like our what?
Wait.
Dan, I've known you for maybe about a year now, right?
Over a year, thank you.
And in over a year, have we crossed like, or at least gotten close to double digits for how many times we've watched this fucking movie?
Now we just got to get Gumby on par with that.
Let's
No,
not. Let's
I'm
not.
gonna watch
Okay.
that again.
Next podcast, everyone. Me and Dan talk about
No.
Gumby for an hour.
No.
Jack, how many times have you seen this movie?
With everyone here, it's probably been about 3 or 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do
thank
own this
God,
DVD, and
because
I've seen it
you
about-
get to be number 2 in the order. I am going to the end of the table because fuck you.
Okay.
Dan's seen it more than Jack has.
Dan can stay in the middle.
I didn't say how many times I've seen
I'm
it by
gonna be the
myself, I've got the
contrarian
DVD.
asshole in this this fucking shit show, so I get to be on the end of the table.
Cool. Okay, fine.
I'll proudly admit I can quote a large portion of this movie.
I
Okay.
was doing the same thing alongside with you.
So should before we get into this, should we like all tell about our relationship to the Power Rangers franchise?
That's probably a good idea.
All right, let's
Guess
start
we'll go
all
down
the
the
way to
table.
left, go down.
Yeah, let's go down the table. Cable.
Where to begin? How to summarize a lifetime? I won't make this too long-winded. I just want you all to picture a young boy wearing tank tops because they kind of do the sleeve thing that Tommy Oliver's thing did in all the shows. Growing his hair out long so he could tie it back. Doing unnecessary flips and hurting himself. Having contests with my cousins to see who could be the better White Ranger. This is my lifeblood from childhood, and I still love it even though I know it's awful.
Is that why you still have a Tommy Oliver like ponytail cable?
No, I still have that because my head is shaped weird.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow, that
Yeah,
So
fun
Jack.
fact, viewers, this is what I look like. This token, I have very large, sparkly moy eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. Clearly.
We have
The
seen
fact
Cable's
that
face
I'll
before he
decide to die
does.
Now.
Cable, what's your experience like legitimately? Where how far back do you reach with Power Rangers?
Oh my god, like legitimately, probably. We're talking like real young. Like it was probably one of the first things on TV that captured. You know what? Power Rangers is probably about as far back as Digimon is for me because they were on the same like networking block.
Yeah.
So they kind of went hand in hand. Like if I wasn't watching Digimon, I was watching Power Rangers.
I have some words about that, but I'll wait my turn.
So next up, Jack.
Technically, my first was Dino Thunder. I enjoyed it. I watched it anytime it was on. But I won't say it was my first like foray in saying this is what I really enjoy. That came like 2 years later with the start of Mystic Force. Now, fucking anything magic related to me is like it's like drugs. And when I saw that, I was fucking hooked instantly. God, it was so cool.
Dan.
Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Dad's an old bitch, so he was around for the first series. Moving on.
Fuck you, gray hair.
Fuck you.
So how much of Power Rangers or have you been exposed to, Dan? Like
Day one.
okay, but have you seen all of it or only like some of it?
Listen, not only do I know the entirety of Mighty Morphin, I am also the guy who watched all of Jew Ranger.
Okay. So you're caught. You know modern Power Rangers as well, yes?
So oh
we
god.
don't.
So I know Mighty Morphin. I was stuck with it, die hard. I was ride or die. But then you know what? That ride hit a horrible crash into a brick wall when Turbo came on.
Go!
We don't talk about Turbo.
Power Rangers Turbo, go!
When I saw that new blue bitch taking over, who was trying to take over the legacy, usurping the legacy started by David Yost.
But Dan,
Wow.
how can you deny this though? Their mighty engines roared and they powered up for more. Go!
And they bored me to death.
So, okay, that's your experience, I suppose. My experience as far as Power Rangers is I grew up with Dino Thunder primarily, with a little bit of Mighty Morphin mixed in, like whenever it was on TV. And then I watched Power Rangers up till SPD and Mystic Force. So somewhere in between there is when I dropped off. Mostly because there's just other shows that I thought were better.
Yeah. Good. Better shows were coming out around that time of the thing.
It just occurred to me, are me and Dan the oldest ones here and that's why we go farther back with Power Rangers?
Probably. Me and Batty were only in our early 20s still.
I
I'm
don't
still
know.
in my early 20s.
Chibi's weird.
Yeah, I didn't know how old you were, that's why I only said me and Batty.
Chibi's into older shit anyways.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Cable, you and I are probably the biggest weebs here, and that's why we do it.
Dan, we're grandpas.
Because we're
Yeah,
grand
oh,
weebs.
I'm pretty sure I'm closer to Cable in age than Cable is to Dan. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, hey Betty. I watched Power Rangers as a kid. I had a couple Power Rangers toys. It was kind of like Digimon for me. Again, making the Digimon comparison because they're both on Fox Kids. But it was like I saw some of almost every Power Ranger series up to SPD. Like mostly just a couple of episodes every now and then. The one that I remember actually watching for more than like 3 episodes other than Mighty Morphin was the one with the blonde bitch who played acoustic guitar. I don't remember anything else about that series other than there was a blonde bitch that played acoustic guitar.
Wow.
Does it ring any bells? For any?
No.
That was Dino Thunder.
Yeah, Dino
Could have
Thunder.
been Dino Thunder.
Yeah, it was Dino Thunder because it was like
Yeah,
on. It was on during the same time as Tamers.
Yeah, the girl in that played the guitar.
But for me, Power Rangers, and yeah, people will probably get mad at this statement. It was, to me, the second best thing on Fox Kids behind anything Digimon that aired. But and I literally do not remember anything else that aired on Fox Kids. But yeah, I was more of a Digimon kid than a Power Rangers kid, even though I kind of liked Power Ranger. I never saw this movie until today, by the way. This is my first time watching the my Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Wonderful. I'm so
so
happy
glad
I
we
could
did
be
that
here.
for you.
So glad we were there for that.
I want to say I have a migraine now. Thank you guys.
Good.
Oh my god. Oh, the fucking camera work in this movie is like giving like a toddler hyped up on cocaine like the permission to give everybody whiplash.
I'm pretty sure the cameraman was shaking a baby at the same time he was filming this movie.
He was choking orphans. There was some
If we're
orphan
if we're
abuse
gonna go
going
into
on.
the camera work, does that mean we can start into the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Where to
Alright.
begin with this?
Star Wars
Hold
intro
on.
begins with Delcia.
This movie felt like, in this movie's defense, it felt like it was only 25 minutes.
It's a very quick movie, that's for sure.
It does not have to get everything
Random
across
ass
quickly.
scenes combined in one movie.
So,
Like, it is an hour and a half, and it was not that long when you
yeah,
watch it.
no, not at all. This movie
I'm trying
is...
to see if I can find something real quick. Give me 1 second.
You
Okay.
think of all the different scenes that happened in the movie that you watched. You cut any of those scenes out. What the fuck did he have to do with each other?
They didn't. That's the point. I've watched this 3 times. This has been my 3rd watch, and everyone here is well aware that, like, roughly towards the end of the movie, I just got distracted looking at, like, movie props, and I was trying to see if I could buy something from this movie that unfortunately probably doesn't exist anymore.
It's gotta be around. It's gotta.
I figure most people don't care about a foam like dinosaur
You know it's in a warehouse somewhere.
somewhere, but it's probably rotting and it's like next to
I can tell you what happened to some of the Power Ranger movie costumes. They got used for fucking made-for-TV parody films that no one in their right mind should ever remember, and unfortunately I do. You ever heard of a parody film called Men in White? Don't bother. It sucks.
what?
Yeah. Men in Black
Okay.
parody film, and like the aliens were actually like old Power Ranger movie monster, monster.
Chibi, I was thinking about it. That foam dinosaur is probably buried somewhere out in the California desert.
I wouldn't be surprised is the thing.
Yeah.
Someone's digging up right now, going, "Whoa, talk about Jurassic Park."
Okay, no, I can't
No,
find what I wanted, unfortunately. I was gonna fucking do Dulcia's whole speech at the beginning of the Power Rangers movie, but I can't find it.
Movie
I
again.
can't find a text transcript of it.
Okay, before we get into the thick of it, I'm gonna blind everybody with Kimberly for a second. Okay.
You know what? That sums up the whole movie.
Oh, Zordon, don't leave us! Zordon!
Zordon's like a father to all of us.
Kimberly, how is he like a father to you? He's dying.
Okay, let's preface this by saying Amy Jo Johnson is not acting in this film. She actively believes that Zordon's dying.
Yeah, so
She was
We're gonna
doing
get some stuff
something,
out
it
of the
wasn't
way.
acting.
Get the stuff out of the way.
I'm gonna cover 3 points before we start going into the
Yes.
movie and breaking down the skydiving
Yeah.
scene. 3 things you need to know. Amy Jo Johnson does not believe that this is acting. She is completely lost in everything that's happening and believes it's real. Johnny Young Bosch is actively thinking about his future and better careers options he's going to have after this movie. And Tommy is a caveman they let on set.
Everyone else beside Billy doesn't matter.
No,
Also, I'm gonna get ahead of this too, because Jack's not gonna let me forget it. Yes, Aisha's black. I realize that now.
There's some context that needs to come with that, okay?
I didn't notice, alright.
Cable, with the first time that I watched this film, it took Cable. How many times, Cable, have you watched this movie? Let's be
I
honest.
don't know, over like
Like, I
30
that first time we
probably.
all watched.
It's been like
together.
over 40 times Cable has watched this. Only recently did Cable watch this movie
When he
and
was
realize
high, when he
that
was slightly high.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
actually, let's be honest, you were actually high, and that's when you noticed.
Cable finally noticed that Aisha was black.
There was a close-up scene of Aisha towards the end of the movie where they're showing them all, and he's like, "Whoa, wait a minute!"
Excuse me, alright? Excuse me for being colorblind.
I just also want to preface this with, for those who don't know, Cable is also black.
And at the same time, he was complaining that there was no like black characters in Power Ranger. And then
I wasn't complaining. I just said when I saw them leaving the house, I was like, why is there like one black lady here and you never see her kids in the movie? Like, who the hell is she?
She's in the crowd when they're all partying, listening to we're in trouble.
I didn't see a single black kid in that weird kid, like, methadone-induced fucking Lord of the Flies situation they were going through.
Cult
Anyway.
suicide.
Alright, we'll get to
We
that.
get further down that hole.
Okay. Can we actually get into the movie?
No.
Let's get
Yeah,
into
it
it.
starts off with them skydiving to save Ryan's Comet. Everybody remember Ryan's Comet. It's going to be really important later on.
You forget the important part where as they're coming out of the plane, that City Escape starts playing.
So
Oh, for skydiving.
they all skydive out of a plane. Tommy on a snowboard because yes, and Bulk and Skull naturally don't jump because they're chicken shits.
Hey, catch you on the flip side.
They're thinking about their future together. Shut the fuck up.
Listen,
That
they
was our
all
honeymoon.
land on the little red circle. when they jump out of the plane and they raise money for the planetarium that's going to be destroyed because I don't get why. They never explain that.
All right, it's summing up like this. How many episodes do they have to do something in Angel Grove to save whatever the hell?
Angel Grove is actively trying to be like fixed. They keep saving disgusting landmarks. Angel Grove is a fucking cesspool.
Oh, they're trying to save the animal shelter. Well, maybe if I use my animal shelter bombs, they'll destroy the animal shelter.
Listen, they don't need to say like, "Oh, what are you Rangers trying to do? We need to raise money. They're trying to destroy the toxic waste dump / methadone clinic."
Oh,
So
My
to be more
friend's
precise,
dad looks like he's jonesing real hard.
they're actually what they're trying to do is they're trying to save the observatory.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens the comet's showing up in like 2 days, which we find out because the child has a obscure amount of knowledge about a specific comic that's showing up in 2 days.
So, this is Chekhov's comet. Remember, this is very important. You'll never hear about it again until the very end.
Yep.
You won't hear about it at all.
This is Chekhov's child too. His name is Fred Calvin. He wears a backwards Jordan hat and weird shirts. And his dad looks like
Oh, I hate him.
He's the audience surrogate, guys. He's the
No,
Chris
he's not.
Thorndog.
Rules
No.
for everyone in Hollywood. Stop doing the human surrogate character.
It really is the worst trope.
It's not good.
It-
Just stop.
every time as a kid I watched something and there was like, well, here's a kid surrogate to make it relatable and stuff. I would always hate that character immensely because they would be taking away screen time from like the cool shit.
Yeah. Transformers didn't need it. Sonic didn't need it. None of these movies need it.
Ugh. The kid wasn't that bad. There was worse stuff in this
Pretty
movie.
damn bad. We had to look
There-
at him. He's wearing a Jordan hat.
Let's move on to the next part so we can talk about more characters we hate.
Vulcan, you mean Vulcan Skull finding their way into the construction zone?
they land
Yeah.
into an open construction zone where they're
And then try and play it off like they were supposed to be
disregarded.
there.
Oh, you forgot. You're also glossing over the golden rule of the Power Rangers. They can't be within like 5 feet apart from each other at any given time.
Yeah, I thought the golden rule was when they're outside of their suits, you can't film above the waist when they're doing stunts.
They also have to wear their collars at all time.
Zordon actively hits them if they wear colors that aren't what their associated Ranger color is. The Rangers are fucking rollerblading because why not? They left the weird child and his ugly dad. And they're just
catch a free ride.
then as they're going by the construction site, Bulk and Skull land there, and they're like, we're gonna bullshit our way through this.
At least they're funny.
I love them. Dearly do.
Yeah,
Like I
Yeah,
love them
the best
so
one.
much. Poke and Skull are actively very funny characters, which in most movies they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like those character tropes would not be funny in any other like TV series or movie. Poke and Skull, they save so much.
I'm gonna be real with you, Dan. So I loved Bulk and Skull as a kid. Like they were like one of the only like things that stood out to me in Power Rangers, other than like giant robots and monsters and stuff,
Yeah.
and people exploding into sparks of fire. That was also cool. I remember I was trying to rewatch an old episode that I remember from when I was a kid, and Bulk and Skull made me want to projectile vomit. Like, I didn't realize how, like... to be fair, like, that was a couple years ago. If I went back and marathon Power Rangers, I'd probably love them again, because they're, like, goofy and stupid. But I just remember, like, having a sickening experience with them recently.
Hey, did you have like a fever dream at one point where you just couldn't get the theme music out of your head? Like you're just having like one of your weird hallucinations and you just hear.
Weirdly enough, recently, I think I actually did have a Bulk and Skull dream, though. But I don't think they were, like, actually Bulk and Skull. They were just their character archetypes, like OCs. But basically just Bulk and Skull.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Wow.
Go back and play Pokemon Sun and Moon and put Bulk and Skull's theme over Team Skull.
Oh, yeah. Fits perfectly.
I will say the best scene to ever happen with Bulk and Skull is when Tommy first comes to the school and like, oh, what are you doing here? And he just starts flipping in the hallway like, yeah, like, whoa, we're gonna back away from this guy. I don't like this. Leave him.
Tommy
Fuck
Oliver is
you.
a fucking menace.
Tommy Oliver is an ape man. All right, he should have been the
Oh
Nindini
god,
ape.
here we go again.
No,
Seriously,
we'll get to that, but we can't go down a full tangent like this, Debbie.
Okay.
We'll talk about ape.
I'm
Tommy's
gonna say,
inappropriate.
I had actually pitched to them that we watch Power Rangers the movie and then watch Encino Man.
There actually was a scene in this movie I liked. So do you remember when they brought Jason back and he had like a 20-minute sex scene? It was really groundbreaking and brave of them to do something like that in the year 1995. Just
It was kind of fucked up because they were calling Jason super progressive while they were like spilling coffee on David Yost.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It makes me think that like they only got rid of him because they didn't like him.
The whole thing about David Yost has been said to death by many people. I felt bad for the dude. He was fantastic, and like seriously, Billy's one of the best.
Listen,
can you
David
clarify
Yost-
what happened?
They fucking got like he was getting bullied on set because he was gay, and it was like, dude was like one of the best Rangers to have on there. Like Billy was the shit.
It's a damn shame. He was wonderful.
Like Billy, in my opinion, Billy is top tier echelon, if not part of my personal favorite of Blue Rangers. He'll always have a place in my heart, Billy. You couldn't have been replaced on Mighty Morphin.
So I like Billy because he looks like he is 10 years older than the rest of the cast, who look 20 years older than the characters they're supposed to be playing.
Oh no, Billy actively, like, they were talking about, like, oh, I gotta get Trini to the prom. What about you, Billy? He's like, bitch, I got a mortgage. I don't got time for this shit.
So there's actually an episode where Billy has to take a test, and that's he can't join them for ranger duties. And it's just like, look at this old man in pretending to be a high schooler, and they got the teacher there in her moo. It's such a surreal scene.
Billy, do you remember what happened in the War of 1941? I don't know. I was only in middle school.
Okay, we're going on
Anyway, we
tangents
haven't
about
even gotten to
all
Ivan
movies.
Ooze's egg
We
yet.
haven't even gotten to Ivan Ooze. Okay, it's a bunch of the freaking all the construction workers that were like working on that building. They raise up the silly putty egg, and they go to try to touch it, and it's big claw hands and get zappy dude.
Now, can I point something out about this real quick that actually irritates me that I didn't think about till right now? Zordon
They did
says,
not call the mayor anything about this site that they found.
not even that. Zordon says that they buried that egg deep underground where no one would find it. How deep was it if
They left
fucking
a manhole
construction
cover. It was
if
not that deep.
construction workers can fucking find it
Yeah.
while putting up a building?
Yeah, they just like glossed over. Like, oh hey, there's some dust here. Oh hey, there's an Aztec manhole cover here.
Now that's a little unfair. There is like the giant cliff that's right behind them. That's clearly like maybe what 20, 30
But,
feet
and
tall.
technically, we don't know what the landscape like there was originally.
I guess that's fair, but all I'm saying is like if you're deep underground is like 2-story basement level, you should have fucking thought a
That
little
is
harder about
fair.
that. Like if you really wanted to keep it secure, why not bury him like underneath the power chamber?
So
That probably
would
would make more
speaking.
sense.
I mean, technically speaking, when he was sealed away, dinosaurs were the only thing that were on the land, right?
Yeah.
So you know dinosaurs are only 10,000 years old, right?
Actually, no, it couldn't have been dinosaurs because he was buried for 6,000 years, so they would have already been gone.
That's they had a 4,000 year break.
So what you're telling me is Zordon is lazy as shit.
Yes, he's incompetent as fuck.
Zordon is like things would be resolved so much better had Zordon not been a giant fucking idiot this entire time.
Like he let Alpha 2 do it. That's why Alpha 2 got destroyed for Alpha 3, and that one kept fucking up. That's why we're on Alpha 5.
Hey, remember Alpha 6 that yo-yos?
Shut up.
Okay,
Moving
so
on. Dan doesn't get to talk.
no, actually, Dan needs to talk. I have a question for Dan because he's
Yes.
the oldest here. So,
Wow.
The old
this question needs to be answered. So, Ghostbusters. Power Rangers,
Uh-huh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Nickelodeon. What was the fucking obsession in the 90s with ooze?
Slime.
Okay,
Everyone had a fucking obsession with slime.
Slime,
Right.
ooze, gack. It's all fun because it's sticky, it's colorful, and it can be used for whatever purpose that your naughty desires wishes it to be.
So when your wife and your kid aren't home, and you just pulled up in your Jeep and you're listening to your tunes, and you see it laying on the counter, don't know where it came from, you decide to randomly put your hand into the jar, and get to business.
You gotta grab that little jar of Ivan's ooze because you gotta sniff it first, and obviously he was gonna stick his dick in it.
What you got to remember about it is if you rewatch that scene closely, he didn't put his hand in the jar. He put 2 fingers into it. He was warming the jar up.
Okay.
You don't do that unless you're getting ready to smell some stank.
So there was a 5th example that I forgot about, and thank God I did, but I'm gonna bring it back because it's cursed. Flubber.
Oh, they had flubber titties.
There's a whole scene of Flubber shaking its ass.
Did
Yeah.
did anybody fuck the Flubber?
Story, Flubber does.
Yeah.
Robin
We have
Williams
no
got
idea.
down and dirty with Flubber.
That's why
No,
everybody loves
Is there
Flubber.
a robot trying to get down and dirty with him?
The robot did that was a plot point
No.
of Flubber. The robot did want to fuck Robin Williams.
Listen, Flubber was the original Ona hole.
Okay.
Let's move on from this.
We'll save flubber for another day.
We'll save Flubber for another day.
So, what the fuck happened after the
The egg is revealed and Zordon calls them in like, "Yo,
Fuck
yeah,
off.
go stop the ooze." I kind of like, all right, look, I didn't bury him too deep. I put his robots like right next to him. It's like, what the fuck? You know what? Those robots were buried right next to the egg. What was the mayor gonna do if those got dug up first? Imagine the mayor of Angel Grove with the Ectomorphicon Titans trying to.
He wouldn't have been able to do anything with it since it uses ooze power to run.
I'm sure they could have rigged it with a battery or some shit.
It would have been the
A
mayor
bunch of
going
car batteries strapped
Would've
to
been-
him.
It's more like it was on chemicals.
more years.
He would have
a
had
chemical
fucking,
reaction probably.
he'd have had unrivaled political power.
Who can stop Nixon now?
I'm done being mayor. I'm gonna go be president. Let's see if they've got something to say. Ectomorphicons march onto Washington. The Rangers can't target them because then it'll be an international incident.
Alright, enter the best characters.
So Zordon sends them to go stop with the ooze, and to go check on the ooze, we get Lord Rita 3, mind you, and Rita's still Baylicious.
He is, no matter which Rita it is. Rita's a babe.
Cable and Dan actively want to fuck Rita Repulsa.
I don't care which Rita Repulsa it is, dude.
I really don't care either. Like, she has that patented catchphrase of, "Oh, you're giving me such a headache." You damn right.
Like, it can be Bandra, it can be like Rita number 2, the one that's like the stunt double version, or the movie one, number 3.
I'll say this, and I think you can vouch with me, Dan. Rita can go sit somewhere if Scorpina shows up.
Oh, dude. We don't have enough time to talk about Scorpina.
We'll go into this later.
She's also not
They
in this
open up
movie.
She's in my. Listen, all right. She can be in this movie if the pig can be in this movie.
No, she's just not in the movie.
Okay. Pictures of
Let's just,
Scorpina while we
let's just
talk.
have white noise going whenever anyone talks about Morden.
That's Dan's favorite character.
Ugh.
Zed shoots his Z magic on the egg, and it opens up into a giant like egg of goo and snot. And Rita like puts her hand in the snot and is like, "Zed, this is nasty as shit."
Finally, I'm bringing in someone who can do my job for me. I'm bored.
And then we get the ooze scream like, "Ah!" "Ladies and gentlemen, the ooze is back!"
And
Finally, I'm gonna suck that ooze.
yeah, Rita is like really into him for a good bit there.
So I have the quote, You slime-sucking purple pinhead.
That's later. That happens later.
I don't know when any scenes in this movie happen, Sheep. You're giving me too much credit.
I'm so glad you have that, though.
I'm going to use that in Bugs X Bones in reference to Grifter, because he is a slime-sucking purple pinhead.
Who's this fucking sitting there like, hey, you let me out, how can I ever repay you? Do you recall the name Zordon of Ildar?
And he's all
I
pissy.
think he's tired of him.
He literally like just electrocutes the sky Emperor Palpatine style, and that's just like, oh yeah, I've heard of Zordon.
And then he'll obliterate his entire legacy.
Can we talk about the...
To destroy Zordon.
Sorry, KAYBLE, I didn't mean to squash your bit.
No, it's just he said all that, and then it's just Rita being thirsty and like, finally, a real man.
I agree. Look at how big his dick is.
Wow, it's oozing.
You're like, yeah.
It's oozing. Goldeye, you looking at this? Mine's is smaller.
Seriously, there's no way to not do like a Chris Sabat Kuwabara voice.
I was about to bring it up at some point, like as a joke, but I'm glad you did, Dan.
Goldar sits around and goes, Urameshi, we're gonna destroy the Power Rangers.
We're glancing over the elephant in the room, and by elephant I mean pig.
I heard
What
what
about him?
I know what you're talking about.
What about him?
Oh, we're not gonna address that. There's a new character.
He wears a monocle.
Your sentence keeps cutting off. All I hear is static.
And you have to acknowledge him.
Mark Morton's. He's just there as filler.
He really is. So
I
could
for some reason,
Water
He was
fence.
still
to
a
explain.
character.
to explain, the movie created this new character named Morton, who's just a pig with a monocle, who is there for literally no purpose other than funny quips. And
He's
that
a
is it.
gag character, and he falls short every time.
He's like if Kuwabara is the sidekick to Rita, and metal face dude, I forget his name, doesn't matter.
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed, then Piggles is the sidekick to Kuwabara.
Pickles.
Pickle.
Yeah, they had to give Goldar his own sidekick.
Yeah. Oh, also because of reasons later that we'll talk about.
You know, I think the real reason, and I hate this because the Tengus do show up in this movie. Tengus are actually in the ninja version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but in that also they're supposed to be Rito Repulsa.
I like Rito.
I like Rito too, but they couldn't use Rito yet, so they had to use Mordant.
Listen,
Let's
they wake the ooze up, and then the Rangers show up, like fucking walking around at a construction site at night.
Oh wait, no, you missed one of the best lines that Ivan gives us is, "I smell teenagers."
Teenagers.
Smells like back teen shame and angst.
So, yeah, the Power Rangers show up. They're investigating the area, and KAYBLE, you want to explain what happens after this? Because this gets weird.
So, in vivid detail, they're walking around and they meet a security guard who stops them. Like, what are you kids doing here? You haven't seen any morphological beings around here, have you? Wait, did it look something like this? And then it's just Ivan Ooze in disguise. So he pretended to be.
It's funny. He's trolling them.
Yeah, and I fucking love every second about that.
He has fun the whole movie.
And you get my second favorite moment from this scene. Dan, you know what my first favorite moment is. We'll get to it when we get to it. But my favorite moment is them trying to fucking mad dog Ivan, oh, you don't know who you're dealing with, Mr. Raisinhead. And he just gives them oh, really now? And Tommy in his stupid caveman voice ooh, we Ranger powers.
Oh, where's my
autograph book? Power Rangers. Zordon still gets a bunch of kids to do his dirty work, huh? Well, meet my kids. And he just makes a bunch of ooze soldiers to fight them. From this day forth, the world will know the terror that is Ivan Ooze. Welcome to my nightmare. And he just fucking flies off like a boss.
Because he can.
After having the best delivery in the movie.
And then the worst delivery of the movie is when they jump down to a more open part of the construction site to fight. And Tommy picks up a shovel and goes, "Welcome to my nightmare." Ook ook. And then Action Boy, Action Girl now starts to play.
All right, so that's the best song in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to say I've heard that song before. I didn't even realize it was playing because at that moment, all of the jump cuts in shaky cam were making my head spin in 4 different directions.
There's a lot.
You got the constant cartoony sound effects.
Including fart noises.
Yeah, every time the slimes get hit, it makes a fart noise.
Oh.
And anytime they get destroyed, it makes a splat noise.
It's not even like the fact that there's 20 cuts and everything's jittery. The cuts have to be in such a way that nothing looks like it has anything to do with each other. So you'll see a character kicking another character, and it'll look like 5 different, completely different scenes.
And
Can I give a new name to these things they had to fight? Can we call them silly putties?
That's basically what they are.
Yes, we can. All the constant, the wire maneuvers in this whole fight scene.
There are needless jump cuts, a bunch of like flips, jumps, and we haven't even gotten to the real over the top flourishes because they fight for a little bit and then they get cornered, and that's when they have to go through their transformation, and they take an absolute century. Which we can now talk about. Super Attacker!
Alright, I'm going to try to do something right now. If you guys can keep going on about this, I'll chime in now and again. But trust me, this is going to be worth it.
Of course.
No.
So, Dan, do you want to run us through what's going on?
What's going to happen is a bunch of gadgets and special effects that you will not get as a toy until like 20 years later.
Yeah.
Like now the bear suit has headlights.
Mm-hmm.
And also Rocky has a heat vision scouter.
Why he has that and he's using it to try to find slime, I have no idea.
They're trying to show how unique each individual Power Ranger is, and it falls short every time.
The Pink Ranger has a BDSM whip.
It does.
The Blue Ranger has a grapple gun.
Yeah, he's got a grapple gun zip line thing.
The Black Ranger, I forget. He has nothing. He literally has nothing.
That's because
Here's Johnny.
You know what Johnny Young Bosch has?
Johnny Young Bosch.
You know what Johnny Young Bosch has in this movie? A lesbian fuckboy haircut.
You're right, but
Ouch.
that's not a toy gimmick, Batty.
I mean,
I don't know. You wouldn't like for Christmas, Chibi. You would like if you unwrapped the big box and it just had a lesbian haircut in it.
KAYBLE, specifically a lesbian fuckboy haircut. There's a
fuckboy haircut.
There's a very unique distinction with it. It's like slightly
Sorry.
gelled and floppy in some places.
I have Tommy Oliver douche hair. I don't understand the intricacies of a lesbian fuckboy haircut.
My God. Oh my God. So, yeah, unnecessary flourishes. They beat up the silly putties with fart noises galore. Also, 2 of them kick one of its head at one point, and cartoony googly eyes come out of it.
Oh, that sent me spiraling. I was not expecting that.
There's also a scene where the Yellow Ranger is like down on her knees, and the Blue Ranger like very obviously zip lines down, kicks like 3 slimes in the head to like incapacitate them, and then backflips his way to the Yellow Ranger only to help her up, which she very obviously could have just stood up on her own.
Oh, he backflips to her and then does an unnecessary spin flourish.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, at the very end, he fucking does a spin at the end. It's like, you didn't even do that.
But it looked cool.
None of them need to do anything. They're all backing
didn't
away.
look cool.
Except for when it was like Adam when it gets like drop kicked or something. I don't know.
There,
Now,
Fucking falls on the screen.
the in some hindsight here, I'm realizing something. The whole point that Ivan had created these slimes for was to distract the Rangers.
It worked.
But they're stupid because they could have easily have just not followed them into the construction equipment.
Of course they're gonna fall for it. They're like, "Oh, bad guys, beat them up."
So there was one cool thing about that fight scene that I did like. But it got old after the first or second time. I liked how the silly putties, when they made contact with, a flat object, they would just turn into slime.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, and once we get to the end of this fight, because the fight does eventually end, thank God.
Thank God.
It has to have them all line up into an action pose with Tommy Jesus posing, basically floating down into the center, where you can tell he's very clearly on a wire. But that's the end of that fight.
So you could spin
meanwhile,
Jabba around.
yeah. Meanwhile, the best part, where Ivan Ooze confronts Zordon.
I love that.
Dan, take it away. What happens here?
Well, Zordon has to activate his ultimate defense robot, who just does the most feeble chop to Ooze and then gets blasted in the head. I wish that was the end we see of Alpha 5. But no, they get Zordon. You're still picking on creatures smaller than you. It's like, yeah, it's fucking fun.
You know, I think something bigger than you? It's hard. They fight back.
So Ivan is legitimately pissed off for good reason, because not only did Zordon seal him up, he did a shitty job of it and just left him there.
He at least gave him KAYBLE for, 6,000 years.
Yes, because of one of the three things that he mentions that he missed over the years was the Brady Bunch reunion. And Ivan, I know it's a very funny line. It had me rolling hard, but you didn't miss much. Some people, they don't look so good, man. As he blows away the command center to smithereens, and Zordon's behind us. That's Zordon's fate.
Zordon is...
He turns into the unfortunate, very hungry caterpillar who is dying.
So before we continue, I have an important question.
Yes.
Who wants to be Kimberly next?
I think Kibby does.
Yeah, either Chibi or I'll take the burden of this.
I'll roll
You
for
know
it.
what? Let's say hand it to KAYBLE. Since he really wants it.
I really don't.
I'm
really
gonna roll
does.
for it. You guys continue talking.
Okay,
Alright.
so I just did something. If you guys want to look in the chat we have going on real quick.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, go on.
don't reveal it yet to the audience, but when this comes up, Batty, are you able to put like GIFs on the overlay? Yeah, here you go. Because I figured this will be an important talking point when it's relevant. I just downloaded this and made this.
Okay, that was worth it. Okay, we'll talk about that when it happens.
I just downloaded it, KAYBLE. Don't worry.
All right, Cable.
It
So,
took me a second. I had to go through the whole movie and do it real fast.
shit. All right, so Cable. The song plays Action Boy Now, Action Girl Now when they're fighting the silly putties.
Mm-hmm.
There is something, we agreed that's the best song in the movie. Why didn't they use any of the glorious Juan Rosserman tracks from the actual series?
I don't know, because they're dumb.
Ron
They're
Rosserman, known for the Power Rangers theme song and all the amazing tracks that played in the series. They're so damn good. Like the Go Green Ranger song? Oh my god!
Go Green Ranger.
Oh my god, not only that, all the other ones too, like Cross My Line, Call the 541! I love all those tracks.
You know, I hate the Green and White Ranger track, Dan, but I fucking love them at the same time.
The White Ranger one.
Nobody's gonna get you tonight. Destroy the Power Rangers. Destroy the world. Don't let Lord Zed take a hold of your mind.
It's so good.
It is solid. Fucking who am I kidding? I love it.
Okay, so the Rangers get de-rezzed and they turn back into their 30-year-old teenager selves.
Depressed.
Yeah.
40 for Billy.
We don't even get a fucking conversation from Saba. Saba doesn't even talk.
Saba shows up, and then we see the light leave his eyes.
Saba dies in Tommy's arms. He looks at him and goes, Tommy, promise me. Promise me you'll never stop being the Green Ranger, even 22 years after anybody's asked you to do it. I promise you, Saba. I'll always act like this. Kia!
He never stopped.
I believe Tommy hurt his head filming, and that's just an involuntary tick he has for the rest of his life, where he can't go like four or 5 minutes in a conversation. Like, hey, I need to pay my bills here. I have to make sure I file them properly. Yeah!
Now, also, thank God the command center is only just down the street from them because they get there really fast. Like they had to get there. They had to walk or use their rollerblades.
I swear, they never specify where the command center is. I like to imagine it's like, oh, don't worry, the center's hidden in a secret location. It's literally like right across the street from the high school.
And there are episodes where they actually have to like walk to the command center because they can't teleport. But they get there in just like the very next scene. It's like no passage of time has happened.
How easy is it to find this command center? Because if it's a location just sitting in the desert, nobody's gonna go check that out.
It's like, oh, that's just a water treatment plant.
I wonder if Alpha has to like fucking file zoning laws for that so that the government doesn't get involved.
But yeah, no, they get to the command center. The door is covered in fucking grape jelly.
They write it off as a church. That way they're exempt from taxes. They worship the Church of the Morphin Grid.
Alpha eyes.
Richard Horvitz is Alpha. Excellent voice.
Oh, yeah. Fucking love Richard Horvitz.
But fucking, oh my god. So this is where we really begin, like, Amy Jo Johnson truly believing that this is all actually happening and that she doesn't know she's in a movie.
Yeah, as you can see, Amy Jo Johnson, who's next to Dan and KAYBLE.
Amy Jo Johnson is just like, Zordon, don't leave us. Ever since you came into our lives, you've caused us multiple amounts of trauma and physical harm.
You're like a father to us.
The rest of them all leave so Alpha can tell them about the ectomorphicons, Phaedos, the transcendental grid. All those other just saying words.
Little fun point too, at any scene if you look in this movie, Johnny Young Bosch is always actively looking off into the distance, probably contemplating his life choices.
I just want to point out, 2 or 3 years after this, he gets cast as Vash the Stampeded in Trigun. I'm just saying.
Beautiful.
There's like main role, anime role.
Yeah.
Just saying, everybody has to suffer at some point in their life. This was him racking up as much karma as he needed.
Oh, because you can see, thanks to Power Rangers in general, how a few different people have their voice acting careers started. I mean, we've got Johnny Young Bosch for one.
Yeah.
And we have fucking
Richard Horvitz.
Bryce Papenbrook as well.
And
Because his
Richard.
dad is Rito Repulsor.
Oh.
And weird little fact too about the whole oh god, I just had it and I lost it completely. Fuck, what was it? It had something to do with Johnny Young Bosch. I'll remember it in a minute.
Don't worry, Jack, you are no longer Kimberly.
Oh, thank God. No.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's what it was.
Jordan, you can't leave us.
I've actually like little thing. I've met and gotten to talk to Johnny Young Bosch before at like conventions, and if you bring up Power Rangers, he will mostly only talk about his time in Zeo and Turbo. He does not like remembering that he was the Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin. I think it has something.
Hey, you want to talk about voice actors in like Power Rangers shit? Barbara Goodson.
Did anybody on the original Power Rangers except Jason, David Frank, and whoever the fuck played Ivan Ooze have actual fun? Or was it all just misery?
I mean, if we're going for the
Well,
original,
as you know, Amy Jo Johnson thought it was all real, so.
Yeah. Yeah, she has PTSD probably.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I think Aisha had fun. Aisha, honest to God, seems like one of the only competent actors in the movie.
She has some good lines in the movie.
She doesn't overact, is what makes her good.
Rocky's just there.
But does she realize she's black?
I think she has an idea. I don't think she's sure yet.
Okay.
So let's continue on with what happened in this film. So
Off to Phaedos.
yeah, off to Phaedos.
Zordon
before
uses the power of Rainbow to shoot them into space.
But right
Oh,
immediately
you can
after
tell
that,
he's
let's
weak.
get to the other fun scene. Let's go to Banjo Palace on the moon. So,
You could tell they were weak because Zordon can't transport them with a sick guitar riff anymore.
So what happens here at this castle? Jack, you've been silent. Can you explain what the fuck happened here?
I really don't want to.
Too bad.
Sucking purple pinhead.
Thank you, babe.
that, madam.
Well, you see, Ivan makes his way back to the big castle on the moon because, you know.
Hi, honey. I'm home.
You spine-sucking purple pinhead! The Rangers are going after the great power!
And
Why does
after
everyone
that,
want the power.
we finally get the silence of Rita Repulsa. Because he flungs a fucking loogie at her.
You know,
And
they,
it's electrified, so she can't even pull it off.
they act that way in public, but you know, they make sweet love to each other behind the scenes.
Yeah, Rita does this thing Zed likes where she just kind of like lays him down by the fireplace and like gently massages his brain.
Not only that, she'll do the thing. Every now and then, she'll take some scissors and cut one of the tubes and blow into it.
She pushes the lobe that like induces pleasure, but then she'll stop halfway through and then hit the pain one because Zed likes to be you know, he doesn't want it to end too soon.
Do we really want this podcast to be as long as the movie? Jesus Christ, let's keep this going.
Yeah.
Again, this
Anyway,
is a-
long story short, Zed and Rita get on Ivan Ooze's nerves, and he traps them in a snow globe.
Then he coughs up a bunch of birds.
And then he fucking snots
One
up
of whom
some
is a
more
Matthew
fucking enemy.
McConaughey bird.
All right.
Want to do a rage in the river, and I'm gonna go star in some movies.
why did it have that voice?
We have no idea.
That was Matthew McConaughey's first role.
Oh, obviously.
Okay. Now on to the weird part.
All right, this is
Planet
actually a
New
very
Zealand.
important scene.
They go to planet New Zealand to find the great power.
When
Pretty
they
much.
land on the planet, they find a very integral and important plot point, which is a deceased skeleton with some sort of apparatus on its head laying in the sand. Now, if you're gonna remember that, don't. It's never gonna come into play again. But they make a big scene. They fade out on that creature's face.
I guarantee you, they got props from another movie set and they're like, oh, this will look cool. It'll look like another planet.
Any other film or TV show that has the word space in its title or star.
So,
so-
the Tengu show up, there's a fight scene, and Tommy, or I should say,
Oh, wait, hold on. Should I give the gift first?
yeah, Jason Frank goes
Let's talk
fucking.
about
Look at this! Look, he goes fucking nuts!
He full on kills someone in this scene.
So
That's not a joke. That's a
normally,
That man's windpipe is crushed.
Yeah.
His nose is broken.
Tommy,
He is
the
suffering
actual
as a
actor for
cat.
Tommy, looks like he legitimately kicked the dude in the face.
So
That is not acting, that happened!
Jason David Frank actually knows karate. I think he owns his own dojo now. He's like
In terms of skill, he's like I think he's like a I forget what degree it is, but he is a black belt, and he's actually fairly competent in the martial art world.
I could watch the scene all day.
So, as much as I'd love to talk about this forever,
listen, Chibi.
Yes?
I want to address this.
Go ahead.
I understand you wanting to move things along. This is a podcast.
Yeah.
It can be as long as it needs to be, as long as it's under 3
That's
hours.
the thing.
Maddie, can you
We
do me a
have
favor?
Dan and KAYBLE here.
It's true.
It's gonna go on
Hey,
for way too long.
I need you to do me a favor, Maddie. Can you just put that GIF over Zordon?
No, leave it in the top right corner, like near Zordon's head, like he's watching it and he's surprised.
That's why he's looking like that. What have I done?
There we go.
Tommy's killed a man.
Oh, by the way, Cable, you want to be Kimberly, right?
Let's do it.
Alpha just keeps playing this scene for him over and over again.
Fuck you.
I'm watching that, Batty. I saw that happen. So if we're gonna talk about this, then we're gonna have to talk about fucking what actually the Tengus even fucking do in this scene, because it's a load of bullshit.
They don't kill anybody. They don't even injure anyone.
No, they don't.
They're one to a raging river.
They were lying. They lied to their boss.
They did.
Because fucking Obi-Wan Delcia shows up.
Yeah.
And waves her silly sticks around. Wheelu. After
Yeah.
titulating the audience.
Mhm.
She comes flying in and she fucking spins her sticks and flashes her admittedly very attractive lady abs.
She is toned. Can we talk about that?
Yo.
She is very toned.
Fucking Dulcie is the type of woman to fucking, like, you guys getting harassed on the streets, like, you go hide behind her.
Dulcia is supposed to be like as old, if not older, than Zordon, right?
Yeah.
She moisturizes. Zordon obviously doesn't. Look at him.
God.
Also, can I point this out too? Look at the image, everyone, not just you guys here, but the people who are listening to this. Zordon doesn't have ears.
No, he doesn't.
No, he just has holes. Like,
So
Be
he's got
aware of
holes.
that.
His skin folds in on itself and just leaves a hole.
Be aware of it and never unsee it.
I just want to say, if we could see the full body right now, he is a blunt.
Yeah.
He looks like a blunt, yes.
Mhm.
Zordon and Alpha plays up every day.
Smokes that morphine grid. Zordon's fucking weird. I hate this picture of him. Oh. We'll get to that.
That is nightmare fuel.
So Tommy fucking murders one Tengu, not the fucking character, but the actual actor who breaks his neck with his foot. And then they all leave like, oh shit, Jason David Frank is insane. We need to get the fuck off the set.
Who put this caveman on the set?
As they leave, Tommy screams up to them, "You can't get away, Kia! I have your home addresses off of the employee register, Kia!" And he proceeds to chase them down and after hours assault every single Tengu. And then Dulcia fucking shoves him in the chest with a stick like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down, alright? Aisha gets them back on plot by saying Zordon. She's like, Zordon, children, ooze, evil, follow.
That is almost verbatim what happened.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Like, enter some boring ass scenes with Dulcia on the most obvious movie set you've ever seen.
Actually, before that, a different thing happens entirely. We go back to Earth.
Hold on, before we leave Dulcia, to make a point of this too, Dulcia doesn't talk to them. Dulcia screams in every scene she's in. Like,
Yes, she does.
Oh, you're British!
I'm very sure Dulcia might be a little bit hearing impaired. She just can't hear herself, and they didn't bother to correct her volume. Like, Dulcia, how are you? I'm fine.
Jack, you're English, correct?
Yes.
How was her accent?
I mean, it wasn't bad, but like, it felt like in places that wasn't her accent.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? How would you
Yeah.
tell?
the fact that it kept slipping out of an English accent at times.
It's true.
Hey, yo, you looking for power? I get the power.
She's just Brooklyn.
Breathe in my silly dust.
Hello, my name's Dorothy. I am from Boston. Donkey Donuts.
That is not what we sound like.
Fuck you.
So while Dulcia's leading them through the stinky forest to go fucking trip on silly dust in the middle of her painted temple, Ooze is on Earth.
Fucking living it up.
He's being pretty cool. He's hanging out with Bacon Bits in the fucking gold one, and he's like filling up foods in jars to give to tell the kids to give to their parents. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's someone's uncle dance.
he did make someone's uncle. That doesn't happen yet. He gives them ooze first, then he makes the uncle dance.
He has this really cool like wizard clown outfit. You know what he looks like? Dan, he looks like an ICP album cover.
What was the
Oh
thing
my
you had
god!
Yeah!
called him before, Batty?
What did I call?
You had called him something like, oh yeah, the icon you'd see on the side of a condom dispenser or something like
In
that.
a gas station, yeah.
He drops his mad sick rhymes too for his EP. Just going, guys and girls, girls and guys, gather around and feast your eyes.
Well, did we all know that Ivan News was 7 Joker's card, purple Florpicon? Oh my god.
Your hands on Ivan's ooze. I don't like that he's just like, his first thought is to just give it to the kids to give to the parents.
Yeah, that's weird. But it works.
And if your parents have a problem with it, shit in the litter box. Prove a point.
It's not far off from what he says.
And if you want to play with Ivan's ooze, always remember, you can only play with it if you don't go to school, don't eat your vegetables, and slap your mothers.
Jesus Christ.
And truthfully, you'll see in a later scene that this is confirmed. This is my headcanon. The only reason the kids are even interested in Ivan's ooze is because there was a mass outbreak of them getting their hands on peyote because they were dumb high towards the end of the movie.
They really were.
Really were.
Wait, what are you talking about next? Ivan in the quarry living it up, or them going through the trials?
Well, before they go through the trials, that's when you fucking cut back over to like Fred's dad going home like, Fred's mother? Where are you guys? They're gone, and there's a miscellaneous jar of ooze here. Well, looks like Fred's going to have a new mother. And then he opens it up, and then it takes over his mind. And then he looks at it, I'll deal with
What
you
parent out
later.
there opens up their kid's like slime toy and just like sniffs it and goes not 1, 2 fingers deep on this?
Now this was before the iconic Jason gay sex scene that occurred in the film. That was, again, brave for its time.
Strange enough, they also involve slime.
And he had to use 2 fingers. There's a deleted scene where he's like, 2 fingers, gotta warm this up. Can't have a repeat of what happened with that Stretch Armstrong incident. And then he gets zombified with all the parents and walks out of the house saying, kill John.
John Lennon.
Yeah, kill John Lennon. This is all blur. I forgot what happens after this
The
point.
trial of the Rangers, they have to go to Jurassic Park.
They get assigned their furry costumes first.
Oh yeah, they get their ninja furry costumes.
Government assigned furries.
All right. What's the worst line in that scene?
She spits Dulcia dust into their faces and they all get personas. Where she's like, yo, Billy, you're a wolf, have fun. Kimberly, you're a pigeon, I don't know. Adam, you're a frog, but you'll go on to be Ichigo, Bakugo, Broly, and Vash. Be proud of yourself, baby boy.
Okay.
Rocky, shut up.
I have a big problem with that scene. Adam's sitting there going, I'm a frog. Bitch, do you not know fucking ninja history?
He's the only real ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like frogs and ninjas, man. They go hand in hand, just also alongside fucking snails.
Does
Yeah,
Johnny
man.
and Bosch play any Naruto characters?
Yes, I don't remember specifically who, but I know for a fact he does.
Okay.
Comments will fact check this for
Oh,
us, I
he's
think.
also, you guys forgot, he's Alphonse in the original 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist anime.
I didn't. Or to quote the pig from this movie, how could I forget? I never knew.
Ah!
Yeah, she tells Rocky to shut up. You're not Jason. Aisha gets to be a bear, and then she's like, "Tommy, you're bigger pigeon."
You're bigger pigeon.
To which he says, "Kyo!"
Kill.
And then he finds another Tengu and kicks his head off.
As he runs off set, there's a Tengu across the street doing a coffee run for everybody. Like, hey, you know, just want to make sure. He breaks down the fucking door to the stop and kicks him into the back of an espresso.
So the Tengus had left. They ran away. They flew back. By the way, they flapped through space. I want to see Tommy chasing him down behind him in space, flapping his arms up and down. Kyo!
It's just that one scene from Deep Nocturne where Leather Tungsten is running towards the crime grunt who's just getting out of his car.
That is what you did! You fucking Tommy Oliver in situation!
Oh, actually, here we go. I did a quick checking of it. Johnny Young Kosh. Actually, in Naruto, he was Sorcery of the Red Sand. He was actively one of the coolest members of the Akatsuki.
That's cool. I don't know what the fuck it means, Cable.
Don't worry, that's the people in the comments to know.
You know, Cable, for that, I'm gonna give you a little reward.
Also, he is the English voice for Jonathan Joestar.
Hey!
Okay.
I always get Johnny Young Bosch and Ben Diskin confused when it comes to JoJo, because I know one of the voices Jonathan, and I know the other voice is like Young Joseph. But then recently I found out that Joseph is Ben Diskin because his Joseph voice is just his #1 voice from Kids Next Door.
Little note for our good friend Noodle Laser who isn't here. He's also Gyu in Demon Slayer.
Ooh.
Shuffle.
Matthew McConaughey Tengu is there with him.
Alright.
The Tengus explained that they were going to kill, but they were going to kill the Rangers. But then a monster with a stick showed up, to which Ivan Ooze immediately take it away, Dan.
You say six? Did they make a noise? You know, and one was like, that would make time.
5 nails on a chalkboard.
Dulcia! And he does the Zordon lightning in the air thing again.
How he understands that that's Dulcia from that little information, I have no idea.
You want us to take another crack at it?
How about I take a quack at it? God, I love that side. Fucking Paul Freeman.
And then they go poof.
I think that was the second scene in the film that I actively, like, lost my shit over.
It's fucking funny. Get feathers stuck in his face.
It was like the comedic timing, like so much of like the timing in this film was fucked up, but the comedic timing on that scene is perfect.
It's all Paul Freeman.
Yeah.
It really is.
Actually a fucking beast.
Man, it was too damn good for that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright. Back to the trials.
The trials. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
They get their fursona, and then they have to go into the fucking painting, and I don't even know how to fucking describe it.
It's just dino skeletons.
A very special dino skeleton that Chibi instantly fell in love with.
It's a good model. It's a really good puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best like giant puppets I've seen in a while. Like next to like the big giant demon from Kubo and the Two Strings.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
The puppet in this movie is really cool because it's like a weird triceratops thing with sharp teeth that is completely articulated, and it is designed to fall apart.
I noticed there was some really smooth, also stop motion in that fight too, with the puppet.
There was.
And Chibi actively was looking online to see if he could like win it in an auction or
Yeah,
something.
this is where I checked out after at this point. I just started looking up like auction sites to see if I could find it. Unfortunately, I can't find anything about this random ass triceratops thing.
I want it.
So they fight off this thing. Rocky contributes nothing. Tommy has another bad delivery.
Rocky is such an awful fucking part of this film. He is fucking useless. I hate him.
Dan, his delivery, and I quote, is, "Yo, fossil head, I got a bone to pick with you."
Which I'm glad he falls on his ass immediately afterwards.
He is worthless. He is less than the scum of the dirt of the worms.
The Red Ranger contributes nothing.
And like, this isn't me trying to speed up the next thing. It's just nothing really eventful or interesting fucking happens. It's
They fight Rock Guardians in a Stargate set.
I do have something eventful and interesting that we can talk about instead, and I didn't want to bring it up earlier because I didn't want to derail during like actually interesting stuff during the movie. So I felt a lump in my mouth, and I was kind of moving it around. I'm like, is this a piece of food? Half of an ant.
What the fuck, Batty?
I don't know when the ant got in there, and when I like bit it, I spit it out. I presume the other half I swallowed at some point.
Batty, we are gonna save you from yourself one day.
Here's the thing, my room isn't that dirty, and there's no ants in here. I don't know where the fuck.
Yep. That's their revenge for you coming at them with a vacuum cleaner.
I did sweep up a bunch of ants the other day. It was downstairs
Ow.
though.
Ow, that hurts me. I'm gonna talk about Power Rangers. I don't want to talk about Batty right now. I can't.
You can't go
All right,
over
we would
his
totally
dick.
skip over the scene with the Rock Guardians, but unfortunately, three words happen. Then Jenny corkscrew kick. Yo!
Tommy jumps out of a tree like an idiot and spins. Also, Ivan who's fucking told all the parents that John Lennon is dead, so they all have to go kill themselves by jumping off a cliff.
Cold suicide.
All right, so they get their personas for real this time and just get their old suits back.
Yeah, there's still the dinosaur aesthetics on their ninja suits, but okay, fine.
Yeah, I'd say they get their actual fucking old suits with the dinosaurs on them.
And
What the-
they touch their WWE wrestling belts and fly back through space as beams.
Meanwhile, two horrible CGI models are causing a small bit of property damage.
You know what? They caused less damage than when the Megazord showed up and started causing more damage.
Yeah.
Look, we'll show you what we're made of, ooze! And it just started kicking in buildings. And he's just sitting there like, hot damn, I should have definitely got go.
We'll show you, ooze. Tommy just fucking gets a baseball bat, starts breaking windows on everything around. Wait a minute. This can't be ooze. I know who this is. He just runs off set again like shit's not again. Lock the doors, lock the doors. He goes running into the back room, just beating the shit out of Tengu. Fun fact, people, if you ever want to like have fun at a convention, you know Jason David Frank's gonna be there. Wear a Tengu mask. There's a 90% chance you'll die. And he's only stronger now than when he was in his youth. He's more powerful.
Oh, it hurts.
Actually, you know what? KAYBLE, if ever at a point where you get to go to a convention where he's there, can you show him that GIF and go, "What happened here?"
Fuck that. If I'm ever at a convention where I can meet him, I'm gonna show him that GIF and say, "Can we recreate this, please? Can you kick me in the face? Somebody
Can you kill me?
to me."
Oh my god, it would be so fucking hot for me to have my head kicked off by Jason David Frank.
Listen, I told you the story of my history with Power Rangers, alright? getting fucking roundhoused or ninjetti corpse kicked by Tommy Oliver, that would actually be a very big point of respect for me. I would actually be very happy.
Tommy doing that is not a wire maneuver. That is an actual fucking thing that he can do. No,
Maddie, make the knife bigger again so people can see how fucking deadly this is. You can see the impact of the actor's feet stumbling. Like, he was not prepared to hit that hard.
Yeah, he's like freaking out like as it's happening. Like you can see him like kick up dirt.
Yeah, he lands and he's like, "Oh shit!"
What the fuck?
And if you look at it too, that's not in like the chest. The lowest that could potentially be is he kicked that dude in the neck.
Look at Rocky. Look at Rocky's reaction. He just saw a man die in front of him.
This is like the undocumented version of the time Bruce Lee 1-inch punched one of his the stunt people.
You can actually kind of see, like, the choreography. What was supposed to have happened was he might have probably had to have been kicked in the chest, and then he was gonna get like, swept under the leg, so he falls back. But no, this dude got kicked in the fucking face.
I do, yeah. Look, he's doing the leg sweep and everything, but it doesn't actually connect because he's actually being kicked in the face.
Yeah, because he fucking brutalized this dude's wife doesn't recognize him anymore after he was kicked in the face like that. His life was ruined.
Cable, let's be honest with us. He had a closed casket funeral after this.
Like, if there was any justice at the end of the movie, like when they do like the credits to people who this film was dedicated to, I hope they dedicated it to him.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
This movie is the best and worst at the same time.
Anyway,
we get the sword on again. Okay, hi.
Goldar flies away because he knows what Tommy can do to a Tengu. He's like, shit, he let me live once. I'm on borrowed time.
So a bunch of shitty CGI Zords with a very unimpressive fight scene in the city.
There's a lot of grappling and kids on a fucking train. Let's get to this point. The kids are having a weird purple flurp ooze fucking ecstasy-driven Weedawana party where they're hanging out with Bulk and Skull, two grown adults who are only welcome there because they buy alcohol.
Also, why are the Zords smaller than buildings?
So here's the thing. The thing that pisses me off about the fight scene the most. So most of the Power Ranger Zords during that fight are just ineffectively grabbing the enemy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Tommy comes in his Eagle Zord, which is the only one, by the way, that actually has missiles or firepower on it, and just instantly explodes one of them. Like,
yeah.
Why don't you fucking do that from the beginning, you dumbass?
He tried and he missed, but it's like, fucking, there's no excuse for it.
Why? But no. Let's talk about Zordon. Why didn't he just put that on all of the Zords?
Because they have to be themed after something. They're not allowed to be practical.
You can't just like put a fucking 70 miniguns on like the fucking Frog Zord. Make things a lot easier.
So in the series, the Frog Zord does actually send out tinier versions of itself that explode.
What the fuck? Why didn't you do that in the movie?
Because it's an actual ninja movie. You can't do things in this movie with ninjas.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Well, anyone out there who's ever seen Kaku Ranger? Damn good series, right?
Now, Dan, what property was this movie based off of?
This movie?
Yeah, what property was this movie based off of?
It's a combination of Jew Ranger and Kaku Ranger.
Okay, so it was the best of the both worlds. It was the perfect movie.
Also, and it's also a smidget of Die Ranger. They took the worst thing of that series and made it the best thing. Because Die Ranger is great up until the White Ranger shows up, and then it's a constant migraine. Thankfully, White Ranger is actually actively amazing in the American version. I mean, look at him murder.
Yeah, he murders.
He's so amazing. He didn't live it down for the next 25 years.
Damn
I
right.
think we need to make this Tommy GIF our stream starting soon screen.
Yeah, it's really good.
Cable, if you met him in person, would you just propose?
Him?
Yeah, Jason David Frank. Yeah.
No.
I mean, you are Kimberly.
Yeah. That's what I asked you.
No, even Kimberly's got class, all right? He's not Richard Epcar.
Oh yeah, Kimberly. John lettered him in the series.
You're no longer Kimberly.
I forgot where we were. Oh, yeah, they blew up one of the Zords. And then, out of retaliation, Ivan Ooze got long at them.
And then turned into what looks like fucking.
Now you're making me really angry.
Unfortunately, is Paul Freeman's worst delivery in the movie.
It's sad because you know what? I'm gonna say I excuse that one, Dan, because his back must have been very tired from carrying all of their poor performances.
I'll agree with you. Even his worst delivery is still better than any of theirs.
As somebody who finished this film with like a massive headache, the best part of the movie was Ivan Ooze.
Yeah. What's the best Ranger line? Is it time to boogie with the bear?
It's Rocky going, "Oh, I'm hanging.
I'm gonna be real with you. All of the Rangers, like, I have a special hatred for Rocky, but like during like most scenes, they all just kind of blended together for me. Like,
I'll say this: Jason would have been much more useful. Zach would have gotten some shit done, and Trini actively would not have taken shit from anyone.
Damn right. Get the OG crew together.
I want to say this on podcast too. Nobody has to join me, but this is just something personal. Like, jokes dying down for just a minute. Much respect to the family of the actress who played Trini and Trini herself. You were my favorite Yellow Ranger. I loved you as a kid. I still hold your performance dear to my heart right now. Rest in peace, Trini.
Agreed. Rest in peace.
I agree.
I'll give Aisha credit where credit is due, though. Aisha was a good successor to Trini. Aisha saw
Sure
it.
was.
Better than Kat, who replaces Kimberly.
Oh, let's not talk about Cat.
Let's just keep going with the movie. Let's keep going with the movie.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so the Ectomorphicon turns into fucking Megabyte from Reboot, and now Ivan gets to have even more fun just going,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
woo-wee!
He breaks the fucking... actually, we'll talk about this because Batty... The kid with the hat convinces them to go stop their parents from killing themselves, so they steal a train to race out to the construction site. Ivan Ooze breaks the train track, so while they're fighting him in the Megazord, Tommy doesn't join because he uses the Falcon Zord to fix the broken train track so all the kids don't die.
what?
And Batty, I heard you say that. I heard you getting mad.
I was. First of all, that implies that there was
Oh
a
my God.
perfect railing-shaped mold on the fucking Eagle Megazord's back, and it was the exact length of the piece of track that was missing. This is disregarding the fact that earlier we clearly saw that was a shitty model. That was a shitty miniature.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy
It was
fuck.
garbage.
Oh my god.
Maddie, first of all.
Some of the shit in this movie, like production value wise, is like, this looks really good. They spent a lot of money on this. And then the other half of the stuff is like worse than stuff I've seen in B movies. It's
So
like
that-
aggravating.
That shouldn't have worked. What actually would have been more realistic is if they would have just if the Falcon Zord would have went behind the train and pushed it to increase its momentum to just make it through that jump and connect with the other end.
Now they're just gonna replay the footage of him firing the missiles, going, "Kyo!"
Okay.
Train.
Another alternative, the Falcon could have just went to the front car, lifted it up, and placed it back down.
Yeah.
But like, there's another thing I want to touch on with the backwards hat kid. because I'm not actually remembering his fucking name.
Is it when he riot polices the entire fucking?
Yeah. So his fucking idea of like, I need to stop this group suicide from occurring because they're about to, a bunch of mind control parents are about to push their kids down a fucking giant ass like construction ravine.
It wasn't even that bad. They would have probably just gotten hurt at most.
It was probably 10 feet deep at most, but like he uses a high pressure water cannon that realistically should have cracked all of those children's spines in half to push them all back. And you watch the scene, and it's not even like them comedically like, ooh, we're getting blown away by the water. You actually see it make contact with the kids. So they probably were actually blasting them with a pressurized water cannon.
And that wasn't even a far drop that the parents would have gone down. The first batch would have probably hurt themselves, but as more parents go down, it's just cushioning. People weren't really gonna get hurt.
No, see, the only people that would have got hurt in this situation would be the kids that were trying to save their parents, because eventually the pile would suffocate them.
Yeah, because their spines were broken. They wouldn't have been able to crawl out because Fred was shooting into the water. And
Precisely.
all helped.
Oy.
They were high as shit and covered in ooze.
Bulk and Skull's logic in that scene was like, Bulk, is this smart? Of course it is, you idiot. If he breaks all their spines, it'll be easier to take their wallets.
All right. The Rangers and Ivan Ooze are in a deadlock grapple in space.
And they fly off into space. Do you remember Ryan's comet?
I hope you bought Ryan's comet.
It's really sad when like the scene with like the train and the Eagle Zord isn't the stupidest fucking thing in the movie.
They use no ninja powers. They use no fancy weapon. You know what? Chibi, close this off. How do they beat Ivan Ooze?
Now, my memory might be a bit fuzzy, but if memory serves correct, it was the Yellow Ranger who decided to finish this once and for all in the most comically cartoon way possible by breaking some glass, and which insinuates that this is a very powerful, very deadly like form of weaponry. She hits the red button, the big red button, and he kicks Ivan Ooze in the dick, sending Ivan Ooze careening into the comet, and Ivan Ooze explodes.
It's so dumb. It's like,
there's no.
I get the joke, but it's like,
There's no emotional like character arcs or story arcs resolved. There's like no like here's the results of their cool ninja training, as KAYBLE was saying. It is just kick in the dick joke.
Yeah, Power Ranger fight scenes always end with flashy ass weapons and stylish explosions, but no, you just get a knee to the balls.
No, because all their budget comes into the next scene where they all approach a dead Zordon in his bed.
And the Care Bears stare him.
To which Tommy says, "Remember what we learned, guys. When you have the right power, anything's possible." And then they proceed to T-pose.
And that's when we get Zordon's O-face.
Yeah, we get this scene right here as the music plays and they reverse the footage.
You know what's
they just reverse the same destruction scene. From
You know what's
earlier.
stupid about the reversing scene? Like, it's dumb and lazy that they did it to begin with, but the worst part about it is they didn't even mute the audio and overlay a different sound effect. It was literally just the same audio reversed.
Betty, I think you missed something a lot worse than that.
God.
When they reversed the destruction, they didn't turn the lights off on the broken equipment.
Oh.
The back of the power chamber was still bright like the power was running.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Listen to that reversed audio also.
Oh, gosh.
Now, they pour all their power into Zordon, who then goes, "Oh."
And thankfully, we got Batty's reaction to this, and his exact reaction was, "Ugh."
Rangers, good to see you.
Rangers, oh lol.
Zordon, we're so happy you're here. Oh, shut up, Kimberly.
This was like we have to prefix. I'm gonna make Kimberly a little bigger now. Kimberly said something to the effect of you are like the main father figure in my life or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like her dad has just come back from the dead.
Zordon, you're like a father to us all. Thank you, Cassidy. Kimberly. Caitlin?
We are not kidding. This woman actually thought that Zordon was real and was dying the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh.
Which you can take this either two ways. Either she's a really good actress and it's really impressive that she was able to pull this off, or she's just crazy and fully believed everything that was happening.
Here's my qualm with that. We know for a fact she is not a good actress. She is fucking insane. I'm sorry, Kimberly. I don't know your actual name. Hopefully you don't see this podcast.
She's never gonna see this.
You are crazy.
Oh, no.
At the same time, I'm gonna say it right now. Amy Jo Johnson, I thought you were an absolute babe.
Jack, you say she'll never see this, but what would a Power Rangers actor from the 90s be doing right now? Looking up something about Power Rangers because they're not doing anything else.
Unless if you're Johnny Young Bosch, then you have a aspiring voice acting music career.
Then you have a fucking huge career. You're too busy to look at Power Rangers stuff.
Isn't there a point where he just like snaps out of a daze like, man, did I play Kaneda or some shit?
It's like 6 more years and I get to be Kaneda in the Pioneer dub.
Oh man.
But to that credit, they bring Zordon back, and then they have a big fireworks festival at the very end of the movie where they're playing Dreams by Van Halen.
Right after they played Snaps, I've Got the Power, because you have to have that in there somewhere.
They just play all the junk games.
Like, fuck, and then we also have far more unnecessary touching by Tommy.
Yeah, before the kid comes
Fireworks,
up there, and he's like, hey, I helped save everybody, and Tommy's like, oh, shut up. And then they go and like they get assigned this thank you Power Rangers, to which Bulk and Skull go, what the fuck, we put the work in.
We helped!
And then credits roll. And then we have one more tiny scene.
One more tiny dumb scene.
Emperor Golda!
To be completely honest, I love that series.
God, watch it. Fucking Goldar and pulled pork are sitting in the throne room. And then Rita and Zed come walking in. They go, ow. So that way the credits can play.
Although I will say, the doorway with Rita and Zed, they do look cool as shit. You're gonna give them style points.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So do we want to give any of our final thoughts of this film?
I'm gonna watch it again at some point in the future, and I'm not sorry for it.
This movie is a fucking... You know what?
Train wreck, but it's a great train wreck to watch.
Patty, for final thoughts, is it possible for you to do this? Can we all be Kimberly for final thoughts?
I can do that actually. How about no. I have a better idea, Cable. We're going to pass Kimberly around like the speaking torch.
The speaking torch.
I have this game.
Kimberly.
Okay, you go first, Cable.
This won't be the last time I've watched this movie. I'm gonna watch this movie so many fucking more times. I hate everything about this movie. It is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. But it is a part of me at this point, and it'll never leave. This is gonna be the thing I ask to watch when I'm on my deathbed. I want this to be the final thing I see before the light leaves my eyes. And that is all I have to say on this movie. Yeah.
Wait, so Cable, you want to die hearing "uh-oh"?
Judge how you want to go out, Chibi. Don't judge how I want to.
Fair enough.
Jack, you're Kimberly now.
I'm not gonna lie, like Cable, I'm gonna watch this again probably, even if it's just in my off time, just by myself. It's a dumb train wreck of a movie, and I love it. But I kind of want to watch the Turbo movie now. Just so we can shit on that one.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that turbo.
I'm taking away the Kimberly stick from you, Jack. Any last thoughts?
Okay. It could have been better.
Could have been worse. It's a very high bar, but it could have been.
Well, Zordon's like a father to us all.
Shut up, Kimberly. Let Dan speak.
So, this movie is a huge part of my childhood. I have insanely good memories tied to this movie, which was a wonderful summer vacation in which I never saw the sun because all I would do is stay up all night and play fucking video games and watch Sister Act but I stayed up all the way till like I forget what time in the morning where like I went with my brother to CVS and he bought me a White Ranger toy and we saw the movie. And I will always look at this movie in a positive light, even though it's pretty Steven Pyle except for Paul Freeman.
Ivan Ooze is the shit. Last hop in. Ivan Ooze made the movie.
Here, here.
Moving on.
Speak your piece, Chibi.
So, entirely contrasting Dan, I've seen this movie relatively recently. In fact, we saw this movie, the first time I've seen this movie was after we had watched Transformers the movie, the best movie, by the way.
Oh,
and
that wasn't even that long ago.
yes,
We watched this
it
movie
wasn't that
3
long
times
ago.
in the span of like 5 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
This movie is weird. This movie has some issues. But considering the fact that Transformers the movie, the most perfect movie ever created, has its own weird, eccentricities about it, I can give most of these things a pass. I will safely say I did not grow up with Power Rangers too much. Again, I grew up with Dino Thunder. So seeing these Power Rangers, these OG Power Rangers, do this weird, wacky shit, it's okay. Will I watch it again? Probably. Mostly because KAYBLE's going to put it on, but probably.
It's good background noise.
Jack instigated it this time, alright?
I did.
Yeah.
Blame me for this one.
It's a good thing you did. This is a good time.
It's always a good time.
It really is.
I have nothing more to say about it. Take it.
Thank God. Okay. So, imagine you're a snot-nosed little kid and you really like Digimon. You were given a bunch of Digimon VHSs at a specific time in your life. Mayhaps it was because you were sick and dying in the hospital and your parents were, very sad, but you were unaware of this and you just thought you were going to get a bunch of cool-ass Digimon DVDs for no reason. That's a story for a different time. Anyways, I remember seeing trailers for this movie all the time in the little, beginning bits of the Digimon movie, and I remember being very excited to watch this movie as a kid. Like, I wonder when the Power Rangers movie is going to come out, not realizing that it had been between 5 and 8 years since the movie had been released, and I just didn't know of its existence. Finally seeing it for the first time, I'm getting the same sensation that others probably feel when I showed them shitty films from my childhood that I have a strong emotional connection to and I've seen a billion times before. Like, I was rewatching the Scooby-Doo movie for the other day. That movie is dumb as fucking sin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still...
Wait, which one?
The first one.
live action one.
Live action.
That one's fucking great. I love that movie.
I fucking love that movie so much. It is
Not
so
really,
fucking
no.
stupid, but it is like I every scene of the movie just is like I know every single soundbite to that film by just like sheer memory, and I feel bad for anybody who I've had to force to watch that movie who didn't grow up with them themselves because I just experienced it, right now. With memes of me being angry aside, it does have a fun quality to it in that Ivan oozes a treat. It is not as entertaining as like the Mario Brothers movie for me. And the Mario Brothers movie doesn't give me a giant fucking migraine. So,
No, it should.
fuck you, KAYBLE. Fuck you, Jack. Fuck you, Dan. And fuck you, Chibi. That is my piece.
All right.
Oh well then.
And
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, when we officially stopped talking about the movie, it was exactly how long the movie lasted.
Yay!
An hour 32 roughly minutes.
Well, I'd say the best way to say this, Jack, is like the Power Rangers movie. Let's end it on that note, because in the end, our dreams we must defend, because that's what love is made of.
Then Tommy Roundhouse kicks another Tengu.
Yeah.
Well, as we ninjetti corkscrew way out of another podcast.
Everyone, let's PR out, shall we?
Okay.
Sure.
3,
3,
2.
1. Oh.
I don't know who's doing it. Who's counting this down?
Oh, wait, I'll do it. Okay.
Okay, Matt, you do it.
3, 9, 2, 1. Hiya!
Yeah!
That was off sync. Bye.
That was so bad.